Okay, so today we need to look back at perimeter and area. Okay, so as I was looking through some of y'all's work, I noticed that when we were doing perimeter, some of y'all wanted to multiply length times width. Okay, what's wrong with that? If I'm trying to find perimeter and I multiply length times width, why is that wrong? Oh, nobody can tell me? Nobody. That's a problem. What do you do to find perimeter? Do we multiply length times the width?
You add.
We add what, Bryson?
On this, you add 16, 8, and 8. 16 plus 8.
We add all the sides. So does that mean I just add 16 and 8?
No, you add all the sides.
All of them. So 16, 16, 8, and 8. Okay? So why is length times width incorrect? Kaylee?
That's only for area.
There we go. Everybody should know that. Everybody should have said that. Maybe y'all were understanding the question. Okay, but area, we do length times width. So if this had said find the area, what would we do? Kelsey? We just said it. We just said what to do for area. If we had changed this to say find the area, what would we do? Allie? Multiply what? The numbers, 16 and 8. Y'all be specific. Don't just say multiply. Multiply what? Okay? So now on the back of your paper, for this rectangle, I want you to do both. So number one, I want you to find the perimeter of that rectangle, and then I want you to find the area of that rectangle. See if we can do both and tell the difference when it asks you for perimeter and when it asks you for area. Okay, so those of you at home, you could be writing this in your math notebook or just on a scratch sheet of paper. Finding the perimeter and area. Let's go ahead and see what you got. For perimeter, we said we add all the sides. So, Bryson, what would I add?
You would add 16 plus 16 and 8 plus 8.
Very good. 8 plus 8. So we make sure we have 2 8s and 2 16s. 16 plus 16 is 32. 8 plus 8 was 16. We add those up, and you should have gotten 48. Did we get that?
Yes.
48 inches for the perimeter. Okay? Now for area. What do I need to do for area? Brandon?
That you add 16 plus 8.
Length times width, so we would do 16 times 8. Not plus 8, times 8. Okay, and now I'm going to rewrite it going up and down so I can multiply. 6 times 8 is
48.
48. So 8 goes down, 4 goes up.
And then you add
8 times 1 is
8.
8 plus 4,
12.
12. So 128, and this time we don't just put inches, we put square inches. Okay? So that's the difference between area and perimeter. Area, you're multiplying and you put your answer in square units, square inches, square feet, square meters. Okay? For perimeter, all you do is add all the sides. Okay? All right, let's try another one. Let's not do that one. Okay, now let's do this one no area, just find the missing side. So right here, see if we can remember those steps. The perimeter is down here, it equals 26. So, if I'm finding the missing side, the perimeter is 26. What would I do to find this missing side? The perimeter is 26. It says that right here. Kaylee, you remember what to do?
You have to add the sides you know.
Very good. We add the sides we know. So that's the first step. I have an 8, 5, 1, 3, and then down here, another 5. So we add the sides we know, that's step 1. 5 plus 5, I'm going to add first because that gives me an easy number. What is it? 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. 19 plus 3. 22. Y'all have to get it right because if you miss by 1, it's going to make you mess up the whole problem, right? Do they give you credit if you're 1 off? If you're 1 away, they're going to say, oh, I'm just going to give it to you, Kelsey, because you were super close. No. So make sure you get it right. 19 plus 3 is what? 22. Okay, but that's just the first step. This missing side right here is not 22. What would I do next? Kelsey? Look at the posters around the room. I have step 1 and step 2 up there on that poster. What does it say? Subtract from the perimeter. Okay, if the perimeter is 26, then I do 26 minus 22, and that gives me what? 4. Okay, so the missing side is 4 inches. Okay, let's do another one like that. You only need to divide if it's a rectangle or there's 2 missing sides, okay? So only 2 steps unless it's a rectangle, okay? All right, let's do another one like this. Find the missing side. Okay, the missing side is down here. The perimeter is 64. Yes, you are doing this one on your own. We did the first one together just to kind of refresh your memory. So go ahead and try this. Okay, so to find the missing side, remember to do what first? What do we do first on this? Kaylee? Add the sides we know. So I'm going to, what I would do if I had this paper in front of me is mark out the numbers as I add them or as I write them down. That way I know I'm not going to miss any. 10, 6, 8, 10, 4. 2 and 18. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers, so I'm going to make sure I have all 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now what I like to do when there's a bunch of numbers like this, I'm going to combine numbers that are easy to do together. Okay, so a 10 and a 10 equals what? 20. And a 6 plus a 4 is a 10. So 20 plus 10 more is 30. Well, and a 2 will make a 10. So now I have 40. 40 plus 18.
58.
58. Okay, so I just combined numbers that were easy to do together. 6 and 4, 8 and 2. Okay, but that's just the first step. We added up all the sides. What do we do next, Brandon?
Subtract 58.
Subtract 58 from what?
From 64.
Good. They told us the perimeter was 64, so now I need to take the perimeter and subtract 58. You guys should have gotten 6 centimeters. Okay? So I don't know why it took us so long. That took me about 45 seconds maybe to go over that with y'all. But as I walked around the room, some of y'all took 2 minutes just to write down these numbers. Okay, y'all have to get it in gear. Like I said, we are get it in high gear now, not low gear. Okay? Let's do a couple more, and then we're going to flip over to your grid paper. Okay, this one. Find the perimeter and the area.
Oh, that's nice.
Find the perimeter and the area.
10 times 20.
Shh, not out loud.
It's so easy.
Okay, perimeter and the area. Okay, so for perimeter, I add all the sides, right? So what should I add, Javea?
All the time.
Which is what? There we go. 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5. 10 plus 10 is 20, 25, 30. So the perimeter should have been 30 inches. Okay, can y'all see that? Okay, so for area, if the length and the width is 10 and 5, what would I do with those numbers, Bryson?
10 times 5.
Good, 10 times 5, which equals 50. Now, for area, we need to make sure we label it correctly. Do I label it inches?
Yeah. No, square inches.
Square inches, good. So we can just put SQ and IN to abbreviate it. 50 square inches. Okay, let's do one more. And then we're going to flip over to our grid paper and talk about what we're going to do with this grid paper. Okay?
Do one more.
This is one more. Last one.
Oh,
Now, with this shape, I want you to do two things. Okay? We need to find the missing side, which is right here. The perimeter tells us it's 26. Okay? So, step one, I want you to find the missing side, and then I want you to find the area of this whole shape. That's kind of like a challenge. See if we can remember what to do. Okay? So, find the missing side, and then we're going to do area of this whole shape. Okay, so you had to do two things. First, find the missing side, and then I wanted you to find the area of this whole shape. Okay? I'm going to scoot this over a little bit. Okay. Okay, so to find the missing side, what do I do first? Kelsey?
add the numbers.
Add up all these numbers. 2, 4, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. Okay? Does that mean I'm done?
No.
No. What do I do next? Evangeline?
You have to
Subtract it from the perimeter. And down here, the perimeter was 26. So I need to do 26 minus 18 equals 8. So your missing side should have been 8 centimeters. Okay? So for the most part, we all got that one correct. Okay? Now area. So on this funky looking shape, we can't just do length times width because it's not a complete rectangle. So we have to break it apart. We also say decompose it. So I'm going to show you both ways in case you broke it apart differently. Okay? So we said we could break it apart here, right? So I want you to just cover this up and look at this piece right here. Gregory, how would I find the area of just this top piece?
You would put a line down and put a line like that.
Length times width. We don't have to draw squares because they have numbers. So what would I do? Length times width. So Evangeline, I would do what?
4 times 2.
4 times 2. Okay? So 4 times 2 is 8. Okay? Now I have this bottom rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to cover up this piece. That just kind of helps me focus on this bottom one and pick out the numbers that I need to use. So what would I use to find the area of the bottom rectangle? Bryson? 5 times 4. Good. So 5 times 4 is 20. Now, the last thing we do is add those two areas together. So what's 8 plus 20? 28. So your answer was 28 square centimeters. Shh, be quiet. Okay, now, just for sake, if you broke it up going up and down, I'm going to show you what that would look like. Okay? So say you decided to decompose or break apart going this way. I'm going to take my paper and cover this up right here. Now I have this long skinny rectangle. We found this number. What was it?
It was 8.
8. So what would I do to find the area of this long skinny rectangle? Kelsey? Area is length times width. So no, we're not adding. Evangeline?
8 times 2.
8 times 2. Okay. So 8 times 2 for the first piece. Okay. Now I'm going to cover up this side that we've already done. And we see this piece is left. How would I find the area of this piece? Brandon? Pretend like this is a line right here. How would I find... Yes, but how would I find the area of that piece? Allie, can you help him out, please? Brandon, you need to pay attention.
Yes, ma'am. It's a Brandon.
How would I find the area of this piece?
We multiply both of 4 and
4 and what? Multiply 4 and 3. There you go. So 4 times 3 is 12. 8 times 2 is 16. We add those up, and we still get the same answer. Okay? So see, even though I broke it up differently, these two areas still come out to be the same thing. Okay? So perimeter, we add all the sides. Area is what? Length times width. How do we find area, class?
Length times width.
How do we find perimeter?
Length times width. Rows times columns.
How do we find perimeter? No. Add all the sides. Are y'all listening? How do we find area?
Add. Multiply.
How do we find area? Listen. Use your brains. Everybody. Multiply. Length times width. How do you find perimeter? Add all the sides. Okay? If you don't have those stuck in your brain by now, I don't know what else to tell you. Maybe we need to write sentences or something, because by now we should know what to do for each of them. Okay? We've practiced a bunch. So what you're going to do today, you guys are going to use your grid paper to make a robot. Okay? So everybody is going to have a different robot though, because what you're going to do is get a card that tells you exactly what the body parts should measure. Okay? So for the leg, it says an area of 24 square units. Okay? That means I need to know, since it's length times width, what two numbers are going to multiply to get 24. Well, there's more than one way to get 24, right? I could do 12 times 2. I could do 3 times 8. And I could do 6 times 4. Okay? It's up to you to decide how you want your body parts to look. Okay? So first you need to figure out what numbers are going to multiply to give you that area. Okay? You can use your multiplication chart to help you. So let's just say I want to do 6 times 4 for the leg. So that means I need to go over to my grid paper. And now draw a leg that is 6 times 4. So anybody have an idea of how I would do that? What would I do, Bryson? Go down 6 and over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's my leg.
Why is the leg all the way up there?
You're going to cut each of these out. So it doesn't matter where you draw it on your grid paper, because you're going to cut the body pieces out and put it on construction paper. Okay? So it's going to look like this when you're done. Okay? So everybody see how these body parts have been cut out and pieced together?
Oh, what?
So it does not matter how you draw them on your grid paper, because you're going to cut them out and then color it. Okay?
I'm just going to do something.
So they've... Hold on. Why is this going so slow? No, this is just a sample from somebody else. So they've colored, they've drawn a design on their body, they've added mouth and eyes. And so what I'm looking for is if your body parts are actually what they're supposed to be. Okay? Okay, so now I've drawn one leg. If you want, you can label it with your pencil and then go back and erase it later, because you want to make sure you put it correctly on your robot. If I put this as his head, then you're going to get it wrong. Okay? So then I should have 2 legs, right? So I need to draw one to match it. So now I have my legs. I go on to the next one. An arm has to have an area of 18 square units. Okay? So does anybody know what two numbers I can multiply to get 18? Aaliyah? Good. 6 times 3. So now I'm going to draw my arms to have an area with 6 rows and 3 columns. Okay? So same thing. I could go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And over 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 squares. So there's his arm. And then another arm. And I'm just drawing to match the first one because I have to have 2 arms. Okay, now for your body. The body has to be 36. So I need to ask myself what times what equals 36. There's more than one. I could do 6 times 6. I could do 9 times 4. So whatever you want to use, you can use 12 times 3, and then you have to know how to draw it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because area is length times width, or rows times columns. So you have to know your math facts. Okay? Do we need to practice, or are you guys ready?
Ready.
Okay, good.